Hey, we're back for a quick deck tech with Boros Burn here before we get rolling on the last two matches in the league, which I've already played. As a friendly reminder, if you like burn content, especially for this channel, please consider subscribing. Spoiler warning, there's a lot of salt in this video. If you watch that video, you'll understand why. Not going to spoil too much, but one thing I'm going to say about the deck in terms of the deck itself is at least on Magic Online, I would strongly recommend not playing Luris of the Dream Den now. So Luris is kind of like a freebie, right? A free roll with Burn in general. It allows us to replay things. It allows us, a little bit of utility in late game prevention from flooding out, etc. The problem I'm noticing with Burn, and maybe this is just results orientation, is Luris kind of puts you in a certain subset of decks. Obviously, Red-Black Prowess, which is able to leverage it quite well. Decks like Devoted Druid, Boggles, Burn, obviously, and I've seen like one or two mill decks play it on occasion. It allows people, especially the deck Eldrazi, to mulligan to a Chalice hand and expect it to be quite reasonable in that matchup. And I really think that's a downside that might be a greater benefit than playing Luris. Beyond that, build, I'm kind of happy with the 20 lands. As far as the split on like Helix, Skullcrack, Skewer, Riftbolt, Searing Blaze, don't really have enough information to work with of late. Searing Blaze, once again, starting to feel like a point where it's good in some matchups, bad in some others. Like it was pretty good against Death and Taxes round 2 of the first video, which is the first 3 matches of this league. But not really that great against the Eldrazi matchup we played in the last match of the last video, and was pretty dead against the Blue-Red Through the Breach deck. So I don't know that 4 is the correct number of Blaze. I'm leaning towards winning the fourth Skullcrack in the main, just because of Uro piles and some other life gain nonsense. But yeah, like Relic versus Rest in Peace, don't really have a huge particular anything about that. I know Poseidon's been liking Surgical Extraction, specifically for Creeping Chill and Dredge and Uro in Uro piles. Kind of hard targets the card that gives us the most problems. And then beyond that, like somebody asked a question about 4 core Firewalkers. A lot of it depends on how much prowess you're seeing, honestly. I really haven't seen that much burn. I've seen more prowess than anything. So it's a hedge in that matchup. It's also reasonable in some other matchups. But salt warning ahead. Yeah, it was just a really rough league. Last video, obviously, we played against Death and Taxes, and then we played against Eldrazi. And then the 2 matches which will be linked down below, are Eldrazi and Red-White Land Destruction. So some very frustrating decks for Burn to play against. But yeah, my recommendation right now would be to not play Luris. It's an excellent card. I really like the card, but unless you're like really like utilizing it like a deck like Red-Black Prowess, which also has the discard spells, I wouldn't try to leverage Luris in a regular Burn shell right now. It just isn't great. Something like Red-White Prowess, I still think that deck gets enough utility from Luris, but I don't think regular Boros Burn gets enough from leveraging Luris right now. So I would step away from it just to have that slight extra little bit of information advantage that your opponent doesn't necessarily know you're automatically on Burn. So, anywho, let's get into the matches, and once again, I apologize for the salt. I'll still try to be as informative as I can throughout the video, but just understand this was a frustrating couple of matches to play. So, let's get into the matches. Back here for the 4th match in the league, the first match in this video. On the draw, unfortunately. And still pretty reasonable. Have Swiss Spear into Eidolon. or Swiss Spear into some type of interaction. Okay. So feels like we have some type of Eldrazi Temple, Eldrazi Tron thing going here again. Yep. The Chalice on one, right? Yep. So we only had one thing locked by Chalice, and then we immediately draw a second one, so... Not Seer. Nothing. Okay, so that tells me you might have kept that hand on the basis of seeing the fact that I had Luris. We're about to 6 here. Okay. Really beginning to wonder if Luris is a liability simply because it gives away some of what we're playing. So Ballista or Karn or Chalice on 2. Okay, Reality Smasher. So I can put the opponent to one, but one is not 0. Alternatively, I can kill Reality Smasher and hit them for... I think we just attack, see what they do. If they block Eidolon, we can kill them. If they don't, then I guess we kill Reality Smasher. Or put them to one or the other. As to what's the correct line, I'm not quite sure. Obviously, if we draw another burn spell that's a 2 or 3 mana spell, we'll probably regret Lightning Helixing that, but at the same time, So Endless One. Either Endless One or Endbringer, both of which are kind of bad news for the home team. Fetch during, let's do that during my upkeep. Make sure to put Lurrus in my hand. Our opponent kept a very questionable hand, which makes me wonder if they just kept it because of the mana, or because they had Chalice on one and saw we were a Lurrus deck, so that meant it was going to be pretty good. So I'm beginning to wonder if Lurrus is more a liability than he's worth, just from the fact that it announces like one of 3 or 4 decks that we're likely on, all of which are somewhat vulnerable to Chalice. So we have, what, 5 outs, and we got to hit runner pretty much. Or get through some damage somehow. So, sideboarding, definitely want the Smashes, the Skull Crack, and the Path to Exiles. Chalice on 3. Yep. Seems good. Very frustrating. Alright, Skull Crack smashes paths. Take out the blazes and the Eidolons. Bring one back in. I guess we bring in a blaze. Not saying we can't beat Eldrazi Tron, but it's just a miserable matchup overall. The fact that our opponent is playing so slowly doesn't help the frustration a little bit. Yeah, I used to think Lurrus was a free roll, but I'm beginning to think just the information is not good. Select play first. I mean, it's a keep, but it's not like one drop pressure into spells, and it's really kind of hard to deal 20 points of damage to Eldrazi Tron between things like Chalice, Turnisphere, Thought Not Seer, etc. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 16. Obviously, Smash makes this keep a little bit easier, but still, like, not ideal to not have one of our one-dropped creatures. Sure. Okay. Awkward. Why would you bring in Relic just because we have Lurrus? That seems like a gross misevaluation of what this matchup's about. Could try to wait here, but like, if we get Thought Not Seared, we really don't want to get locked out of playing key spells, so it's better to do it. Yeah, whatever. Especially since there's a Thought Not Seer coming down. Not that I'm surprised here at all. think they take either Boros Charm or Rift Bolt here. Boros Charm obviously the most damage. Rift Bolt, if I draw another land, allows me to double spell. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to hit us with a Chalice on 2 this turn. That's why I'm holding up Boros Charm. It's the most raw damage. Hopefully this is just Ballista, because, yeah, this is kind of asinine to try to power through multiple Chalices in multiple games. Casting this main phase, because Lord only knows if they hit like Tron or something. I really don't want to get hit by like Trinisphere or something stupid. Not that they're close to assembling Tron right now anyway, but Sky Sovereign, sure. Something like Path to Exile would be good here. Or Swiss Spear, not so much. Attack them. It gives us at least the out of drawing Bolt or Lava Spike to kill them. Yep, allows them to kill that, swing with this, activate this, have a blocker this turn, and then we're dead next turn. So we basically have one turn to top deck a boulder, a spike. Okay. Give us one more look. So right now we're not currently dead next turn, but there's a lot of things. There are two different things that could kill us, including our opponent being smart and just fetching Walking Ballista, if they still have one in their sideboard. But we'll make them see the line. Or just Reality Smasher does it too. Where's the next card? Four cards away. Hey, we're here for the fifth match. Second match on this video. Trying to pick up a win here. Luris, we're on the play. Hand's alright, it's not like super exciting. Once again, good hands to me are ones with a 1-drop creature with haste. As far as the land selection here, not playing the fetch land because of Searing Blaze. Gives us more flexibility for when to cast Searing Blaze, potentially. Flagstones, so it looks like we're up against either some form of LD or up against the Amulets. Reclaimer deck. The LD deck would be the Boom Bust. We're up against the Boom Bust pile of shit. Great. Let's see what these pals are playing lately. Oust. No recent results. Shocker. Sure. Fetch lands are completely useless. The suppression field. Exciting magic at its finest here. Let's hope that one of the 4 cards in their hand isn't an LD spell. So we'll bring in the Firewalkers in case they have ley lines, which they probably do. You bring in the Skullcrack, go down the Searing Blazes. Do I bring in Path? In case they have like Oriok Champions or Core Firewalkers or something. It isn't exciting, but I guess it's fun. Okay, I guess they're planning on holding up Bolt. Or they could have Path, I suppose. Feels like they were holding up Bolt. Boom bust? Yep. So let Boros Charm and Skullcrack here. Put them to 9. I could protect my whatchamacallit here, but I think we just want to get our opponent dead. Opponent has to somehow neutralize both Core Firewalker and blow up a land this turn. I mean, that's theoretically possible with like Oust and Boom Bust, but like Mages of the Tabernacle wouldn't do it. Sure. Alright. Now that we've seen Chalice, do we bring in some amount of smashes, maybe? Try it like that. Two lands isn't super exciting in this matchup, but I do think it's reasonable enough. Hopefully they don't bolt on one. If they do, we're kind of twiddling our thumbs here. Just bolt it if you have the bolt. Why do you wait until attack's up when you clearly know I can't do anything about it? Yield through the turn. You have Helix, it's kind of whatever here. Oh, I hate Mana Tithe. Such a dumb card. Sure. Such piles of bullshit. Alright. You use 3 ousts. How many more answers do you have to it? So what do you flash back? Oust? Alright, so you flash back Stone Rain. Cool. Nice to pick up that one. Be back in a sec with the wrap-up. So we're back for a wrap on that league. So I think that was one of the more aggravating leagues I've had in some time. So what did we play off against? We played off against Blue-Red Breach, Mono-White Death and Taxes with Burrington Forge Tender plus Luris, and then 2 Eldrazi Tron matchups, And then that god-awful to play against red-white land destruction. So yeah, we managed a 2-3, which I think is pretty decent considering the matchups. But, like, that league just wasn't fun. I mean, I try to continue to talk through the lines that are relevant, but, like, Chalice is an annoying card to play against. Just not being able to play some of your spells. And it's not even like counter spells, like where, you know, you have some play against counter spells. You know, you can try to overload counter spells. You can try to, you know, get under counter spells. I mean, Chalice you can get under to a point, but like game number 1 against the Eldrazi Tron matchup in this league, Chalice on 1, Chalice on 2, Chalice on 3, no outs. The land destruction deck's just annoying because all it's doing is blowing up lands. It has no relevant clock. I mean, we died to Magus of the Moon, or Magus of the Tabernacle, in game 1. Literally because we didn't draw land. I mean, when your objective is blow up your land, 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 and you have no clock, it's like, well, if your opponent draws lands and can execute their game plan, or kind of mana screw you in some way, yeah, like you saw we won game 2 and game 3 just by piecing together enough damage, and like I think they win more by frustration than actually win cons. So it was a frustrating league. I'm not even quite sure if I'm going to post this second half of the league just because it's so much the salt is strong in this one, but I do like to keep it genuine with you guys. I know, like, I don't like to fake things, and this was just a miserable league, straight up. I mean, we managed to 2-3, get half our entry fee back, kind of whatever on that one, but, like, literally felt we were beating our head against the wall the entire league, other than maybe the first match where there was a little bit of counterplay. As far as Burn, its position in the meta and stuff, I think for now I'm done with Lurrus. Not because Lurrus doesn't provide benefit, not because Lurrus can't be a good piece to the puzzle, and it might be worth building around, like in the red-black Lurrus deck, but Burn is having a hard enough problem in the current meta because so many people are hard targeting prowess, and by playing Lurrus, you're really like kind of telegraphing to your opponent that you're playing one of subset of decks. You know, you're playing Boggles or Devoted Druid or Burn with this just as a free roll, or red-black Prowess. Sometimes Mill. I think I've seen it mill like once or twice. So you're narrowing yourself down to a subset of decks. So a deck like Eldrazi Tron or certain other decks can like narrow their range down to a hand that's like, oh, I have Chalice on 1, keep. So I think I'm going to strongly recommend, at least for the time being, that you don't play Lurrus in the sideboard. I just don't think I think it's worth giving up the sideboard slot for the value Lurrus provides. I just don't know that if it's worth giving up the deck selection knowledge that Lurrus kind of indicates, to allow your opponent to kind of hard target what you're playing. Because like a lot of the same cards that are good against Devoted Druid and Boggles are to a certain extent good against us. Chalice on 1, creature removal for key cards. Obviously Boggles doesn't count in that, but you know, it's good against Devoted Devastation, good against the good burn hands. So you're kind of giving your opponent the knowledge that you need to have a removal spell, you need to have interaction early. You can't just play a hand with lands and spells and hope to get there. So Like, I like Lurrus. I think even with the mana tax, it's worth playing. The problem is, without a ton of decks playing it, your opponent can narrow down on a certain subset of decks and really make your life miserable. So, I think that's like the one takeaway I have from this league is don't play Lurrus right now. And as far as the rest of the league, it's kind of a wash. Like, we know Eldrazi Tron's a bad matchup. Red-White Land Destruction is just aggravating to play against. Death and Taxes, especially the mono-white variant, I think is a bad matchup now. I know Poseidon was complaining about it or talking about it a lot in the Burn Discord. And it's just a bad matchup. Like, they have the Forged Tenders. Some are even packing Auriok Champion or Core Firewalker. And I just think it's a bad matchup overall. So, yeah. We'll definitely be back with another Burn League, but I'm definitely not running Lurrus in the next one. But, yeah, that's about all I got on this one. So, this has been John for MTG Nexus. Hopefully next time we'll be on a little bit more of an upbeat note.